Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Norma Cavazos. I am the school board president. You are here on January 18th, 2022 at a regular board meeting of the trustees. It is 6:17 and we are beginning our meeting. I'm going to call a roll call. Mr. Moreno.
Present, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mancha,
Present.
Mr. Luna,
Present.
Ms. Ortiz.
Here.
Thank you. And myself, I am here. Ms. Carrillo and Ms. Limon send their apologies. They will not make it this evening. Mr. Soto, would you let us know who's here from cabinet, please?
Yes, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees of Harlandale Community. Tonight, we have our Assistant Superintendent for Business and Finance, Mr. Richard Hernandez.
Here.
We have our Executive Director of Operations, Dr. Juan Hinojosa.
Here.
We have our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Ms. Casey.
Here.
We have our Executive Director of Human Resources, Dr. Salinas.
Here.
And we have our Public Information Officer, Mariana Veraza.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Soto. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We also have Dr. Castleberry here. Hi, Dr. Castleberry.
Hello, thank you.
Moving on to agenda item 2, that is public comment. We do have some community members that have signed up for public comment. First community member is Esmeralda Campos. Ms. Campos? Hi, Ms. Campos. You want to join us here at the podium, please? Make sure your mic is on. But before we begin, Ms. Campos, I want to remind you there is a 3-minute maximum per speaker. The topics addressed shall be limited to those specifically included on the board's agenda and or district related. We do have a timer here on the screen, Ms. Campos, and it'll tell you how much you have. And you have 2 minutes max to speak. Tell me when you're ready, please. Do you mind turning on the speaker? That way everybody can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Campos. You ready?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Esmeralda Campos. I have 4 children who attend schools in HISD. Last year, we were informed that students would have to return to campus instruction. I was very apprehensive about this, but was informed that testing would continue upon parent sign up. This eased my fears somewhat. Community labs coming in weekly with results same day, next day at the latest, it was okay. But as of late, that's not the case. 2 of my 4 children tested positive this past week. They were tested Tuesday and results were not received until late Friday and early Saturday morning. All the while, my positive children were in school the entire week, potentially exposing other students and staff. How is this okay? Community Labs puts out a QPR stating that the uptick of cases is causing delays in results. Really? I know better. I work for another district who also uses them, and their delays have been occurring since October. Their excuse, for lack of a better word, I'm sorry, is bull. As a parent, how am I supposed to feel confident and trust that my children are safe while in school, when the method or tool used to measure that semblance of safety has become ineffective? I live a quick walk away from Harlandale High School. I have noticed as of late the thinning of the student body on campus. There are about 1,700 students or so, and about 200 to 300 are testing positive. It's no wonder one of my children that attends Harlandale High School tested positive. As a parent, I am asking you, the board, to do more. While I thank you that y'all have been doing a great job, I'm asking you to please do more. Push back. Demand that more timely results from community labs, or get rid of them as they are now ineffective if they're going to be 4 to 5 days out on results. It's just making this vicious cycle, you know? And also push back with TEA and voice us, the parents, to bring back online instruction for those of us who want their children to be safe and be at home. Those of us that can do and teach at home and help them. Fight for the students and staff, help protect them. Please push back, do more. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Campos. Thank you for signing up and making us aware of those situations. Next community member we have is Miss Natalie Clifford. Miss Clifford. Hi, Miss Clifford. As a friendly reminder, you have 3 minutes max to speak. Topics addressed shall be related to the school board agenda and or school related. Tell me when you're ready.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Greetings, Superintendent Soto, District Cabinet members, Board President Cavazos, esteemed board members, and beloved Harlandale ISD community. First, I would like to express gratitude to our dedicated school board during National School Board Appreciation Month. Thank you for all your hard work and long hours spent making decisions for our communities. You are greatly appreciated. I'm also speaking tonight as a union member regarding the federal ESSER funds allocated to our school district. Although there was a survey created and distributed in mid-December 2021, the survey was closed by the time we returned to school in early January 2022, only a few short weeks later. There was little opportunity for distribution of the survey, let alone input, with only 39 responses across the entire school district community composed of thousands of staff, students, and parents or guardians. In order to obtain more accurate data in terms of the survey, the school district could reopen the ESSER survey as well as facilitate more extensive outreach and education regarding ESSER funding. Beyond placing the survey on the website, the district could release a video or short statement to explain the purpose of federal ESSER funds and why it's essential that as many members as possible of our Harlandale community take the opportunity to participate. In addition to the survey, a democratically selected committee, including numerous students, teachers, staff, and parents or guardians, could provide more oversight and active planning in ensuring ESSER funds truly focus on meeting the needs of our communities. At this time, there does not exist an ESSER committee that regularly meets. There were 2 parent or community stakeholder meetings with district staff in June 2021 to review survey data from the spring, which had a total of 58 responses, but no other public meetings to my knowledge have occurred since. However, the district has expressed some openness to forming an actual ESSER committee in some conversations in DPERC. Here at McCollum High School, for example, we have a group of amazing student leaders participating in a partnership with Trinity University called the Trinity Youth Scholars Program. Any of these students would be excellent candidates for such a committee to develop their leadership and would make our district proud with their passion and insights. As we all know, navigating this extended pandemic crisis has led to major strain on mental and emotional health for youth and staff. So it's essential that our students and staff be more centrally included in the process of using ESSER funds. TEA notes that districts must document how their use of ESSER funds will address the academic, social, emotional, and mental health needs of all students, and particularly students disproportionately impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, including students from low-income families, students of color, English learners, children with disabilities, students experiencing homelessness and foster care, and migratory students. Furthermore, the district must engage in meaningful consultation with students, families, school and district administrators and teachers, principals, school leaders, staff, civil rights organizations, and stakeholders representing the interests of underserved students. Lastly, I would like to thank the district for considering agenda item number 6B to increase substitute pay in our school district. Thank you for your time and consideration of reopening the most recent ESSER survey and the urgency of forming a democratically selected ESSER committee so those of us who make the majority of our schools can play a more active role in determining how to recover from the crisis.
Thank you, Ms. Clifford. Thank you very much for making us aware of those situations and signing up for public comment. I appreciate it. Next community member is Margarita Morales. Ms. Morales? Hello, Ms. Morales.
Hello, good evening, President Cavazos, Superintendent Soto, staff, community, and fellow board members.
Before we begin, I'm going to interrupt you. I just want to give you a friendly reminder. You have a 3-minute max to speak. The topics addressed shall be limited to those specifically included on the board's agenda and or district related. And if you haven't already noticed, there is a timer there for you for help. Go ahead, Ms. Morales.
Okay, thank you. Well, my name is Maggie Morales, and I'm here with Desmond Ortiz. We are with Congressman Henry Cuellar's office. As you know, Texas National School Board Appreciation Month is this month. So thank you for all that you do. From Congressman Henry Cuellar, we would like to present you with these certificates of appreciation. And they state, I present you with the certificate of appreciation. Your service to the Harlandale ISD will foster the next generation of scholars, leaders, and public servants. Your hard work and dedication to the school district have not gone unnoticed. Thank you for your service to the Harlandale Independent School District and community. We just thank you for your relationship, and we look forward to working with y'all in the future. And of course, if you need anything, we're here for you.
Thank you, Ms. Morales. And the same goes to you. Ms. Morales also serves on the school board. So happy School Board Appreciation Month. Moving on to agenda item 3, announcements. Ms. Mariana?
Hello, good evening, Board of Trustees, President Cavazos. If we can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. This evening, we have Jefferson Gonzalez Reina. He's a 9th grade student here at McCollum High School, and he will be reciting both pledges.
I fling allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands of nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honra la bandera de Texas, te juro lealtad, Texas, un estado bajo Dios, uno de indivisible.
Thank you so much. So this month, as we've already heard, is School Board Recognition Month. And so we want to thank our Board of Trustees for all of the support that they give our students and everything you do for our student success. So we have prepared a video for you. Some of you already saw it, but we're going to play it again.
Members do. What do they
Give
do
you
first?
stuff.
What was that?
Give you stuff
They give you stuff? What kind of stuff do they give you?
like books. They give us money to buy us books, laptops. It's a big group. You work.
They work. They work for the schools?
Yeah.
How do they help your school?
We teach you students.
How do they help your school? What kind of things do you have in your school right now?
Teachers.
Teachers. Help you get teachers, right? What else?
A library and a principal.
And do they provide you with supplies? What kind of supplies do you think?
Like blocks
Blocks.
Legos, colores, lápices, borradores. They give you books and they give you money.
What's your favorite part about coming to class every day?
That I get some sanitizer. To see my teachers
Yeah.
and to have friends. There's so much fun stuff to do. Like learn, think.
What was that?
Think.
You think every day? You gotta use your brain power, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You play and learn and eat. Dad, I learn
Yeah, you learn. What do you learn?
ABC trains.
Favorite part of class? What's that?
Project.
Oh, yeah. What's your project right now?
I do. What's his name? I don't know. Martin Luther King.
Into the mic?
Yes,
Okay, go ahead, say it.
Michael
Woo, good job.
is in the news
Michael's in the news.
to tell everybody it's turning snow and it's cold. There's a boss.
There's a boss. Who's the boss? What's his name? Mr. Soto, right?
Yeah.
He's in charge of
The city.
the whole school district, right?
Thank you, board members. Thank you, board members. Thank you, board members.
So thank you so much to our Board of Trustees. We wanted to make you laugh a little bit, but in all seriousness, we are very thankful for everything you do for our district. Moving on. Can you put the presentation back on? Perfect. So we have many retirements this month. I'm going to go through them. Our first one is Anthony Rodulfo. He's grounds upkeep crew leader. With Mo's department, he's been here at Harlem for 30 years. So thank you for his service. We also have Art Buentelo. He's also with Most, and he was with us for 24 years. Claudia De Leon, administrative assistant at Pupil Personnel, and she was with us 21 years. Corina Guerrero, special education assistant at Harlandale High School, and she was 20 years of service. Deborah Hernandez, coordinator with Student Support Services, and she was with us 20 years of service as well. Diane Taylor, administrative assistant from the Transportation Department, 20 years of service. Donna West, office clerk at McCollum High School, 35 years of service. Emilia Salinas, bus monitor, 22 years of service. Guadalupe Martinez, child nutrition assistant manager, Harlandale High School, and I think it's 26 years of service. Irma Hernandez Luna, special education assistant, Stonewall Flanders Elementary, 22 years of service. Jack T. Harris with information services, 26 years of service. Livia Gallardo, child nutrition, Harlandale High School, and I think it's 30, I can't see the screen, 36 years of service. Marta Avalos, special education assistant, 7 years of service. Roberto Salinas, head custodian at Vestal Elementary, it's 9 years of service. Rosa de la Garza, child nutrition, Carol Bell Elementary, 31 years of service. Rudy Alcorta, mechanic, 27 years of service. So thank you to all those retirees. I have some important dates just to keep in mind. February 7th through March 7th will be our HEF Employee Fund Drive. And this is when we get our employees to help us raise money for scholarships from the Harlandale Education Foundation. March 7th through March 11th will be our Intercession Week. March 14th through March 18th will be Spring Break. And we are planning on having our Cultural Arts Festival this year, which will be April 23rd at Marquee Plaza. So we're very excited about that. And then, of course, the last day of school will be June 14th. I do have a COVID presentation, just some updates for you. We wanted everybody to know that face masks are still being required at all HISD buildings. All schools and buses are still being disinfected constantly to prevent the spread of this virus, and shields are still up at elementary schools. COVID-19 testing, as you know, is being offered every Tuesday at all schools for all students and staff, and the way you sign up for that is through our Harlandale website. We are still encouraging people to get vaccinated, to get their booster shot if they've already gotten their 2 doses. Some of the things that have changed back and forth, but this is what we have as of today. The students who have COVID-19 with symptoms have to stay 5 days at home until their symptoms have passed. Asymptomatic, same thing, 5 days at home after they tested positive. Employees who test positive should also isolate at home for 5 days from the date of the positive test. If a student has tested positive for COVID-19 or has been in contact with someone that has tested positive, they are eligible to participate in remote conferencing. Parents should contact their home campus for information on this process. We do have our safety plan listed on our website, so I wanted to show you the different ways you can find it. It is at the top of the homepage. You will find it right there. It says COVID-19, and you can see safety plan under it. We also have a banner rolling through the front of our homepage. So you click on that and it will take you. And we do have it in English and Spanish. And then at the bottom where it says latest news, we do have it there as well. I don't know if you have any questions about this.
Any questions for Ms. Mariana? I guess not, Ms. Mariana.
And that is it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Moving on to agenda item 4A, that's LSG reporting of meeting minutes. Ms. Ortiz?
Okay, Lone Star Governance. This is information from the work session dated December the 8th to 2021. The framework is that the board tracks its time invested during public authorized meetings. Vision and goals. There have been, at that particular meeting, there were 0 student outcome minutes on visions and goals. And minutes setting constraints or theories of action. Under the framework on progress and accountability, there were 22 minutes performing board self-evaluations using the LSG integrity instruments and minutes evaluating the superintendent on student outcome goals, GPMs, constraints, and CPMs. There were 0 minutes spent on other topics. On systems and processes, there were 0 minutes discussing, debating, and voting on items removed from or on the consent agenda, time used for public comment on items not on the board meeting agenda, 0 minutes. On advocacy and engagement, there were 0 minutes spent on student outcome goals, and there were 0 minutes hosting all other board-led, co-led, or called community or committee meetings. Synergy and teamwork, any time spent on an activity that does not meet the conditions listed above. On other topics, we had 86 minutes spent. So the student outcome minutes were 22. And then there were 86 minutes spent on other topic minutes for a total of 108. You divide that into the percentages, and we have 20% of student outcome minutes spent in the December 8th meeting. The regular board meeting for December the 13th, 2021, the same framework, visions and goals. We spent 47 minutes on student outcome goals. Under vision and goals, we spent 10 minutes on other topic meetings. On progress and accountability, we spent 0 minutes on student outcome. We spent 0 minutes on other topic minutes. On systems and processes, we spent 0 minutes on that. On advocacy and engagement, we spent 5 minutes on student outcome goals. Hosting two-way communication meetings on student outcome goals, constraints, or theories of action, and recognizing the accomplishments of students and staff regarding progress on student outcome goals. 0 minutes on all other board-led, co-led, or called community or committee meetings. Other, we spent 86 minutes, anytime spent on an activity that does not meet the conditions listed above. So we spent 52 minutes on student outcome goals and 96 minutes on other topic minutes for a percentage of 35% spent on student outcome minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz. Was there anything else?
There's one more.
Okay.
Okay, the combination of both work and regular meetings for December 8th and December 13th. There were 74 minutes spent on student outcome minutes and 182 spent on other topic minutes for a total of 256 minutes for a percentage of 29% spent on student outcome minutes. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Ortiz. Thank you very much for that. Agenda item 4B, the board will consider individual members' fidelity to board constraint number 2. The board shall not collectively or individually violate any board policy or board operating procedure. As I reflect on my leadership as a board member and my Lone Star governance training, I, Norma Cavazos, school board president, am going on the record as abiding by constraint number 2. In my behavior and actions this past month, I have not performed or appear to perform the duties of the superintendent, and I continue to focus on student outcomes and not adult outcomes. Agenda item 4C, Mr. Roberto Gonzalez. Hi, Mr. Gonzalez.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Roberto Gonzalez, and I'm the CCMR coordinator for the district. And this evening, I'll be discussing GPM 1.1, which is in relation to dual credit, dual enrollment, student enrollment. And this is taking a look at our students in grades 9 through 12. The specific GPM lists the percentage of students enrolled in and on track in a dual credit or dual enrollment course will increase from, it should say 18.5% to 35% by 2022, just to, it was revised on the agenda. And those are our partners, our college partners that we work with. Dual enrollment is through UT Austin on-ramps, Alamo College's district, UTSA and Alamo Academies. Those three provide dual credit opportunities for our students. So this is a look by school year, and this is district-wide. The percent of students enrolled in one or more dual credit or dual enrollment classes. And just so you know, when we're looking at the numbers here, the students were not duplicated. So if a student is taking, let's say, 2 dual credit classes, they were only listed one time. So we're looking back from 2017. We have a bar graph on the left, and we have the actual number of students on the right-hand side. So in 2017, we were at 21.1% as a district, which is equivalent to 803 students. In 2018, that was our highest year district-wide, 22.8 or 856 students. In 2019, prior to COVID, we did see a bit of a decline to 20.8% or 770 students. And during the COVID year, we did have an impact. We went down to 17.8%, which was our lowest percentage since 2017. And that was 17.8% or 655 students. Last school year in 2021, we did see a slight increase to 18.5% or 668 students. And for the current school year, I'm happy to say that we did increase to 21.1%, which is equivalent to where we were at in 2017. And that's around 749 students. Just so you know, the 2022 data is still fluid and it's changing. So it's projected and it could still change. The next slide, we're going to look at look by campus. And this is for students enrolled in these courses at Harlandale, McCollum, and STEM. So for Harlandale, in 2017, we had 15.2% or 291 students. And in 2018, there was a decline there of 14%, 257 students. In 2019, prior to COVID, it did go down to 8.7% or 158 students. And we did experience a loss of some dual credit teachers over the years at Harlandale High School. And in COVID, again, they were also impacted to 6.8% or 120 students. In 2021, Harlandale High did have an increase to 8.6%, 145 students. And in 2022, they also increased to 11.8% or 195 students. This is what McCollum looked like. In 2017, they were at 14.6% or 235 students. In 2018, you'll notice they had an upward trend, 15.8%, 246 students. 2019 was McCollum's highest year at 16.7% or 255. But then COVID, our COVID year again, McCollum was impacted, went down to 11.4%, 178 students. And in 2021, again, experienced a decline in student enrollment, 10.8% or 166 students. But in this current school year, again, we did increase to 13% at McCollum. We currently have 194 students enrolled in dual credit or dual enrollment. STEM has been pretty consistent throughout the years. You'll see in 2017, 96.2%. In 2018, that was their first graduating class, 98.3%. 2019 was their highest, which is at 99.4. In 2020, little impact from COVID, but they went down to 96.2%. In 2021, they did see a decrease with the hybrid model and a lot of virtual only options from the college level. So they were at 90.8%. And currently they're at 89.1%. Just something to realize is a lot of our freshmen haven't taken dual credit. So that number's subject to change for the current school year. The next slide is I wanted to share with you how our on-ramp dual enrollment program has expanded over the years as a district. And you'll see from 2017 to 2022, we have slowly increased our students. We were at 81 in 2017, and up to the current school year, now we have 344 students in the UT Austin on-ramps program. And I wanted you to see what it looked like by campus. I'm not going to go over every single number here, but the good thing to see here is that there's now equity and as far as student access to what, it doesn't matter if they go to McCollum or Harlandale. If you look at the slide for 2021 and now in 2022, they're almost identical because the course offerings are almost identical. McCollum has like maybe 1 or 2 more courses than Harlandale, and it should even out next year. But you can see in the current school year, we're on the same path where the same opportunities exist at both campuses in dual enrollment. Some things to consider in next steps. Harlandale High School has expanded their on-ramps program from 2 to 9 courses, and that's part of the explanation of how it's leveled off. Harlandale High and McCollum have expanded their UTSA dual credit program with the college algebra and pre-calculus course. And students who complete this program in one year will get 6 hours of college credit in math. We have identified a potential dual credit ELA teacher at Harlandale High School in 22-23. So that's still pending. And in the spring semester, we are going to submit a T-class grant to expand our dual credit faculty at STEM Early College High School. And we've identified 3 teachers who are interested in pursuing their master's or advanced coursework to be certified to teach dual credit. Here's my contact information. I'm at extension 4472 at the College Cafe. Thank you very much. And if there are any questions, I can take them at this time.
Thank you, and I apologize. I just called you Roberto, and it's Norberto. So
Oh.
my apologies. It will not happen again.
Oh, thank you. I get that all the time.
Any comments or questions for Mr. Gonzalez, for my colleagues?
Madam Chair.
Yes, Mr. Luna.
I just want to know who I know the Alamo College District and the other ones, who's on ramp? And who's the other entity?
On ramps, is the other entity was UTSA downtown.
And the Alamo Academies?
The Alamo Academies, it's part of Alamo Colleges. And I believe that's like through St. Philip's that we have some opportunities there.
They run something like our STEM where they give credit to our students for participating in courses or online, or how does that work?
I'm sorry, I
How does
didn't.
how does the
The
work
Alamo-
for our
the-
students participate with that group?
The Alamo Academies is available through like this, one of our CTE programs of study. And so students select a certain pathway, and those are some of the courses that are offered through that Alamo Academies.
I'm very glad to hear our students are participating in this college, getting college credit. It really saves them a lot of money, folks.
Mhm.
I have 2 degrees and I'm paying for my son's degree, so I know it's a lot of money. So I want them to take advantage of the situation because they save their time. They're doing dual credit,
Yes.
two kill 2 birds with 1 stone, that idea. And they get to get in the workforce sooner and things like that. Thank you so much for your work.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Ms. Ortiz, you had a question?
Yes, Madam
Give
Chair.
me 1 second. Would you please put 2-minute timer, and just a friendly reminder, anytime that they're going to answer or respond to the board member, would you pause it? And then start it up again when the board member speaks. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Ortiz.
Mr. Gonzalez, I don't know if you can answer this or Mr. Soto can answer this, but where is Texas A&M San Antonio in the mix?
Currently, we don't offer dual credit courses with A&M San Antonio, but that's something that we're having conversations with. So it's hopefully in the works, but currently we don't have that opportunity with them.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Moreno.
Yeah, so Mr. Gonzalez, I know with this here, I really do appreciate the information that you shared. I know this is something that has been kind of an advocacy program that we as a board have been, focusing on since before I'm sure STEM even started, because some of my predecessors did encourage that type of programming, and thankfully now we have a standalone flagship. The one thing too, it's like you mentioned, I'm glad that we're still emphasizing the need for Harlandale High School and McCollum to have those opportunities. That equity that you mentioned was clear, because that's something too, because we have sometimes some kids that they can't participate in extracurricular activities and they're saying, well, I'd rather not, this and that. And that's the same thing that my fellow board members, Mr. Luna mentioned or, stated, was that they need to have that opportunity, and they can't leave necessarily with 60 hours of their associates, but the possibility of 45 is tremendous. And that's something that we as a board have collectively said, that's a vision that if you want the ability or the access to it, we're going to provide that for you. So whatever we can continue. I know sometimes things are thin. We're losing out on staff. We're not having the personnel necessary for it, but I'm sure our instructional leaders, Ms. Casey and Mr. Soto, will provide us with some guidance and to make sure that we do what's right by our kids to get them that support. Because I know that's the one thing that's always lacking. We have the kids there, but sometimes we just don't have the personnel and just the accessibility. So we're hopeful that that can continue to grow because that's just significant progress.
Thank you.
Anything else for Mr. Gonzalez? Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, thank you
All
so
right,
much,
thank
sir.
you. Have a good evening.
Moving on to agenda item 4D. Is that Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. At the last board meeting, work session on Wednesday, Ms. Reina Gallegos, the Director of Support Services and Special Programs, presented our 6-month review. From that, we had the participation of 39 respondents. There was good suggestions and recommendations from the board regarding how to improve on that response by attending PTA meetings and presenting at those meetings, providing paper surveys and make those available versus the online, as well as the online. And also participating, as Ms. Gallegos had recommended, at the Safari Family Night March. Also making hard copies of the survey itself available to the public, to the board, and anyone who will assist in distributing that information. So it's a continual process on trying to improve on the response of the survey, so that way we get a good plan in order to continue using our ESSER funds. Be happy to answer any questions, ma'am.
Any questions for Mr. Hernandez? Or comments? Okay, Mr. Hernandez, I think you answered all of our questions during our work session. Thank you, sir. Moving on to agenda item 4E. Is that Ms. Veraza?
So I have the enrollment update. So I have I wanted to show you this graph where we have the past 2 weeks since our winter break. I don't know if you want me to read each one or if you can see all of them. Okay. And I know per your request, you had also asked us to add the pre-K ADA, so that's there as well.
Any questions for Ms. Veraza? Or comments?
No, Madam Chair, I'm sure if I may,
Yes,
just
sir.
to echo, I'm sure Mr. Soto will have some guidance in regards to it, but this is what we're seeing every day. Today at my campus, we had 73% students on campus. So I'm sure our numbers aren't great as just with everything.
Mr.
Ms.
Soto?
Casey, if you refresh my memory, today we had about, was it 84%, 84.5,
81.
81.5? Yeah, so it's still a stretch from where we were in the fall. But we are at the time with Omicron, with the positivity cases and kids being exposed and having a quarantine. Hopefully these numbers do have an uptick. Just waiting for this to plateau, right?
Thank you, Mr. Soto.
And Madam Chair, if I may, one more
Yes,
thing.
yes, of course, Mr. Moreno. Go
So
ahead.
I know Mr. Soto, and I think I kind of touched base with some of our colleagues is, I know we're in line for some severe weather coming up these next couple of days. Is there any like plan? Because I know you guys always do, but something you can maybe make us aware of, just because those numbers may dip even lower come Thursday or possibly Friday or whenever the weather comes in.
Yes, sir, Mr. Moreno. We have a Bear County Superintendent meeting tomorrow at 3 o'clock from 3 to 4. So this will be discussed on the inclement weather and we'll make a decision to see what the forecast is showing. And then I'll let the board know after that meeting to see what route we're going. As we know, if we don't cancel school and it is some tough weather, the waiver section on TA has been taken down, so we would not be able to apply for a waiver at this time, even if it is inclement weather. So we'll play it by ear on the update by TA.
Any other comments or questions for Ms. Veraza or Mr. Soto? Okay. Yes, Mr. Luna.
Yeah, I just have I know my wife's works for the district too, and I work for the district. I just want to see what the district can do, what Ms. Soto can say about why are we in the situation where, I know I'm getting calls like, why don't we close the schools? But as far as I know, I realize we're following state rules, state guidelines and TA. And I don't think the community might understand all those ins and outs. So if you just give a brief reason why we're still in school. Thank you.
Ms. Casey, correct me if I overstep on the 10%. We are allowed to allow 10% to go virtually, correct, Ms. Casey?
Yeah, that's our Harlandale at Home.
That's at
So
Harlandale.
that is something that we have a cohort of students that have been in there, I guess, since October maybe. So we do have that. And then we also have students that are tested positive or close contact. They do get remote conferencing where they can log on, and we do have a teacher there to help with their work. And basically, we have students that elementaries are required to log on for 2 hours and secondary for 4 hours.
But I believe what Mr. Luna also is alluding to is some schools have shut down for a day. They took a Friday off. They took the day off to extend Martin Luther King. If the calendar allows for us to do that with instructional minutes, we have that flexibility, Mr. Luna. But for us to just go virtually is not an option. We will not be funded. And without funding, then we will not be able to pay salaries. And it would just be a windfall from there. So yes, being virtually is not an option for Harlandale ISD.
Thanks so much for that. Thank you.
And Madam Chair, I may one more question, because build off of that. So Mr. Soto, just to clear, like, in most of these cases, I know we've touched base about it, and I definitely understand your rationale revolves around, that focus of keeping schools open. That's ultimately what our governor, what our president all want. Obviously the health of our staff and our students is paramount. But like you mentioned, is it like, are those schools, because those like things that we've talked about in terms of what these other districts are doing, is that more so like, because it's more staffing issues, right? Than it is really the number of students that are not there, or I mean, because that's kind of what I've read from I guess the various districts that have done that, because a lot of people just send me a message with, hey, look at what Comal's doing, look what Laredo ISD is doing, look what Pleasanton's do, these things are like that. And I try to explain to them kind of what you shared with me, and the emphasis on the number of staffing issues and perhaps the lack of students. But most of the time, are they closing for the week, or are they actually going remote? I'm not too sure on that.
To my understanding, they're closing, sir, and it is a staffing issue that they don't have enough. No. to my
Okay, because
understanding.
they're like, they have their minutes and they're like, oh, we're just gonna use this as an extra break off type of thing, right?
Right.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you, Ms. Veraza. Moving on to agenda item 5, consent items. Is there a motion? I'll move to for the motion. I move to approve agenda item A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L. Do I have a second?
Second, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. I will take the vote. Mr. Mancha, yay or nay to approve agenda items A through L?
Yay.
Thank you, Mr. Mancha. Ms. Ortiz, yay or nay?
Yay.
Thank you. Mr. Luna, yay or nay?
Yay.
Thank you. Mr. Moreno, yay or nay?
Yay, ma'am.
And myself, yay. So agenda item 5A through L has been approved, passes. Moving on to agenda item 6A. Is there a motion? Do we need discussion?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Moreno.
I move to approve an order by the Board of Trustees of HISD authorizing the issuance, sale, and delivery of unlimited tax refunding bonds, Series 2022. And what else? And do I have to continue on with the whole verbiage?
You can
No,
just say
sir,
as
that-
presented.
As presented,
recommended.
as
good
presented
enough,
and
Clay?
recommended
I'll
by
second.
staff.
Clay, that's good enough, right? They could just make the motion as presented. Okay.
Thank you. I was just gonna put like as stated, but thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. For moving to approve that. And Mr. Mancha, did I hear correctly? You're seconding Mr. Moreno's motion?
Correct, ma'am.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and move for the vote.
Can we just have
Oh, yes, ma'am.
one quick discussion item?
Of course.
I'd like
Just a
to-
friendly reminder, we have a 2-minute, Ms. Ortiz.
Yes.
Go ahead, ma'am.
The only thing that I would request is that this be done in plainer language for the public. I read in the South Side Reporter that they were doing the same thing where they were reselling and
Well,
they
oh,
were saving
sure.
so many millions of dollars for the next 20 years. And
Part of it is to satisfy the requirements that the Attorney General has to show that the board authorized specifically what you needed, but I'll let Clay address it. Maybe in the future, we could do something
well,
to add.
just a press release after we do the whole.
Oh, after it's approved.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Just something that is in plain English.
Sure.
How much we're going to save over the course of the next 20 years
Gotcha.
or something along those lines. I just found it very interesting that the way that they put it out.
Sure, and ma'am Clay Benford representing the district as bond counsel. I'm assuming that you're talking about the result of this item and not the agenda item, which Mr. Resendez is correct. That
The
is promulgated as by-
results of it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a very good idea to put that press release out there because parents will know what we're doing exactly and what that result, that cost savings. I just thought it was exceptionally good advice to put that out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anybody else? That's really good, Ms. Ortiz. Yes, the why and the results of the why. That way they can understand. So I'm moving forward with the vote unless anybody else has any comments or questions. Nope. Okay. Ms. Ortiz, yay or nay on agenda item 6A?
Yay.
Thank you. Mr. Moreno, yay or nay?
Yay, ma'am.
Mr. Luna, yay or nay?
Yay.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mancha, yay or nay?
Yay.
And myself, yay. Agenda item 6A passes. Moving on to agenda item 6B. Any questions? Is there a motion? And then we can open it for discussion if necessary.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes, Mr. Moreno.
I move to approve the action regarding an increase in substitute pay.
I will second your motion. Opening it for discussion. Is there any comments or discussion, questions?
I know Mr. Sota kind of said that the last time. Was there gonna be a limit in terms of timing or any other like caveats, or it's gonna be long-term?
Yes, sir. At this time, we're gonna leave it to next budget session or for the next, right.
Just wanted to clear that up, so we know. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Luna.
I just had a question after the session last time. Is this gonna be for a permanent amount, or is it gonna be just through this COVID crisis?
We're gonna go through this school year, and then formulating the next budget session, we'll decide what the sub rate will be.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is anybody else any comments or questions?
Dr. Salinas?
Yes, just one more comment, that if this is approved, this would actually go into effect January 31st. That gives us a week to get payroll in order, and it starts a brand new pay week. So it would start January 31st, 2022. And also just a reminder that this would create a budget amendment for approximately $122,000.
Thank you, Dr. Salinas. And then in August, we will revisit.
No,
Is it
June.
August or July?
We'll be doing it during the spring to see where everybody's at with sub pay.
Okay.
And then when we start presenting budgets, then we'll give
We'll
a
look
rate.
into it again.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mr. Soto. Okay, can I move on with the vote? Is there any other comments or questions? Mr. Luna, you don't know? Okay, I'm going to move for the vote. Agenda item 6B, yay or nay, Mr. Mancha?
Yay.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Ortiz?
Yay.
Thank you, Mr. Luna.
Yay.
Mr. Moreno?
Yay.
Thank you, and myself, yay. So agenda item 6B passes. Agenda item 7, convene in closed session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Sections 551.071 through 551.084.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Moreno.
if I may make a motion, I move to convene in closed session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Do I have a second on Mr. Moreno's motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Luna. I will take the vote. Mr. Luna, yay or nay to convene in closed session?
Yay.
Thank you. Mr. Moreno, yay or nay?
Yay, ma'am.
Ms. Ortiz, yay or nay?
Yay.
Thank you, Mr. Mancha, yay or nay?
Yay.
And myself, yay. It is 7:13 and we are going to convene in closed session. Okay, we are back in open session. It is 8:04.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to move that the board accept the recommended regular personnel report. Oh, we don't even have to do that, right?
That's okay. We can accept it because we're not taking any action. Thank you, Ms. Ortiz. Thank you very much. Is there anything else before we move to agenda item 9? Any comments? No?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Madam
Ms.
Chair, I'm gonna go ahead and
yes.
make a motion to, or is that an active
Yes,
motion then?
uh-huh. To
That is
adjourn?
act- Yeah, you know, the previous, is that active?
No.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Moreno. Is there a second on Mr. Moreno's
Luna,
motion?
second.
Thank you, Mr. Luna. I will take the vote. Mr. Luna, yay or nay to adjourn tonight's meeting?
Yay.
Are you sure, Mr. Luna?
Yes.
Mr. Moreno, yay or nay?
Yay, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Mancha, yay or nay?
Yay.
Ms. Ortiz, yay or nay?
Yay.
And myself, yay. So it is 8:05 and tonight's meeting has now been adjourned. Thank you very much. Y'all stay safe.